So I want to just start off to say, welcome home.
Of course, he's moving around.
This is going to be our new home for the next 50 years. So I'm happy to have the opportunity to show everyone the progress and what's going on with the building. Some of you, it may be the last time you see it until we actually are operating out of it, but was glad that we were able to take the opportunity and do that. Obviously we're not having a slideshow today, so I have to use my notes because I usually just use whatever's on the slide to talk about, but I have to use my notes today. And one thing that I don't have on my notes is all of our guests, but I'm going to attempt to introduce all of our guests who are with us today. First and foremost, we have our board members. We have Ben Sanders, the chairman of the board. We have Phil Plant and Steve Woodruff. And then, of course, Sherry and I make up the board. And then we have our trustees here, Kirsty Corey and Therese Kraftchuk. Sorry, I knew I would mess that up. And we have people from our bank, Bank of America. We have Ed Sublett and David Hummel here with us as well. And then this is where I'm really going to get stumbling around because we have some vendors here that I've not even met. So I'm not even going to try to say their name, but we have vendors here from our insurance broker, who is BIM. We have Dustin Stacy and his cohorts. I forget the names or don't know, sorry. We have Alex Grasser from Finley, who you'll see him a little bit later. I can't hear exactly, but somebody else is with him, is what she said. Stephen Riley. All right, thank you. And then we have Mike Brennan from Wells Fargo, who handles all of our 401k options, investments. And then there's a table over here that I don't know any of them at. So what groups are you guys with? All of you? Okay, perfect. So Star Robbins. So please welcome all our guests here today to join us. So the reason that we have these guests here is to answer your questions. This is the one time of the year that we're able to get most of our guys and gals together from the company. It's a great opportunity because you guys have questions throughout the year, whether it's benefits or other things related to our business like 401k, ESOP, things like that. The board, the trustees, and some of our vendors are here who can certainly help you get those questions answered. We have a lot of things to cover today, so I'm looking forward to a great meeting, a great time. We're going to be up and moving. So don't get too comfortable where you're at, but I will ask that you try to keep pace, stay with us the whole time, because if we have to break up, the stride that we're going because people aren't moving the way they need to, then that's going to slow us all down. This is exciting into the Employee Appreciation Week, so which was sponsored by the ESOP Communications Committee. So I hope you guys enjoyed the lunch or breakfast that you were provided this week. Some of you may have got it twice, I don't know, depending on moving around on different jobs, but good for you. Quickly, here's what we're going to do in the meeting as far as agenda goes. I'm going to give a little bit of an update on the company performance in the January town halls. I talked about the strategy and the things that we wanted to accomplish over the next 2 years. I'm going to give you just a little update on where we are related to that. And then we're going to recognize some achievements. We're going to get a few activities going, get the blood pumping, and we'll spend quite a bit of time actually talking about the actual ESOP statements because we changed to Finley as our new vendor. We have a new format for the statements. You guys all have that in your packet or in your chair. We'll go over that to make sure you understand, and again, they'll be around after the meeting to answer further questions that you may have. And then, of course, we'll reveal the new share price and have any questions or answers. But I wanted to start off first person who could stand up and tell me what our vision is. I got a $100 gift card that'll come to you. First person. $50 gift card to somebody who can try. Okay, you got some homework to do. Learn the vision. The vision is where we are going as a company. It's to partner with our customers to provide power and connectivity for a brighter future. Pretty easy. That's what we do. We partner with customers and we provide power and connectivity. Okay, we'll try it again. First person to stand up, $100 gift card. Who can say our mission statement? Go, Nick. Mission statement.
Where is Steve Pruden?
Nobody. $50 to somebody who tries. Nada. You guys got a lot of homework to do. All fun and games, but it's serious. If you guys don't know what our vision is and why we do what we do as a company, it's kind of hard to build the culture. It's kind of hard to rally around the same things and for all of us to know how each of our jobs contribute to where we're going as a company. All right, we'll try one more. $100 gift card for the first person that stands up and tells me the 7 core values we have as a company.
I can give you one. Honesty.
No.
Integrity.
Integrity.
There you go.
Now, honesty is one, and integrity, you're right.
Besides that, my mind's a little frazzled right now.
Okay. I think I got $1 in my pocket. I'll give you. Safety, respect, honesty, integrity, passion, quality, excellence. Remember those. Okay, the first activity fell flat. So, at the January town hall meetings, I laid out a strategy for what we were going to do for the rest of the year, for the next 2 years, actually. One of the goals was by 2020 to grow our revenue as a company. The revenue for the electrical division, or our core business, by 22% over our 2018 exit. So far through May this year, we're 8.5% over our budget and 27.6% over 2018. So that means that if our goal was 22% over 2018 and we're 27.5 right now, that we keep kind of just doing what we're doing from a Delta perspective, is staying over the budget, then we're there. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen. I mean, we got a long time to go before we get there, but we're well on track. The next thing I said is we wanted to grow, we wanted to create new crews, get new customers, and we've had quite a bit of groundwork that's been laid in that way. We've started to create a few more crews this year. We've had, last year, I think we had, I'm going to get the number wrong, 18 people passed their licensure last year, and then 4 so far this year. So that's 22 people today that we have, that we didn't have a year ago, that gives us the opportunity to create new crews. We can't create a new crew unless we have somebody who's licensed and able to go out and lead a project. So just because you get a license doesn't mean you have the experience to go lead. So that's what we're trying to do, is mentor and grow different people in the organization based on their capabilities and desires to be able to lead those crews. So we're well on our way as far as that goes as well. As far as creating additional revenue streams, I've talked about ramping up the growth in the systems division by doubling the systems division by the end of 2020, and the low voltage division 6 times. If you take a look at their progress through the first 5 months of the year, through May, the revenue for the systems division is right on track at 2.5 times what they were this time last year. So they're on track for that growth goal. And then the low voltage team is about 2.5% over where they were a year ago as well, but there's some So there's some metrics there that we have to kind of figure out a little bit, because since we didn't have the low voltage division at the beginning of last year, there's nothing really to compare it to. So some of the numbers that we're looking at is having to go back and undo some things and try to figure out how to separate that kind of scope of work to have a comparable. So not to get too detailed and all that, but the fact is that it's up and running, it's growing, and so that's a good thing. We talked about needing to grow the industrial controls services organization. This time last year we had Jesus and a few other people who kind of on a part-time job, if you will, because they had other things that they were doing to go do that kind of work. Today we've got 2 full crews that are going out doing industrial services work, and we're working on a 3rd. So that piece is coming up as well. Seeing some good progress. And then we also have some growth in services in the truck shop. The services division, quite frankly, has exploded in 2019. Their revenue through May is 177% more than this time last year. That's a lot. That's huge. Jeremy and team have done a great job there. And they certainly don't show any signs of slowing down. The truck shop, the earth moving division, has shown positive net income over the last 3 months, which is exactly the 3rd month in the whole almost 2 years I've been here that they showed a positive net income. But they're doing really good, grabbing business and organizing themselves. So I'm excited to see what they'll keep doing. They're killing it. Okay, the next priority, strategic priority, was developing people. So we talked about safety being the top priority, and you guys probably remember the way the meeting started in January I was not very happy. Not at all when it comes to safety. Our safety record in 2018 was unacceptable, quite frankly. So there's a lot of things, and you'll see some things throughout today of things we've changed, evidence of that change. But the good thing is that as of today, we've gone 150 days without a lost time accident, and we've worked almost 200,000 man hours without a lost time accident. So thank you for working more safely, and certainly we're not there yet, but turning the tide a little bit related to safety. So thank you very much. There's several things that we've done to emphasize safety, and we'll continue to do that. About a month ago, we acknowledged the fact that we had gone 100 days. Well, I guess it's more than a month. It was about 50 days ago, apparently, if I do my math right. That we recognized 100 days without an accident. Again, we acknowledged it. It's not a celebration necessarily, but we acknowledged it. I'll give a $50 gift card to somebody who can tell me what the summer campaign related to safety on the buzz is.
100 days of safety.
Stand up and tell me.
100 days of safety.
I'll give it to you.
There you go.
100 days of safety. My lovely assistant here will bring you a gift card. In addition to developing people from a strategic perspective, we talked about high-performing teams. So training and exposure are key elements for us to be a high-performing team. And what that means is we've tried to do a better effort on training people, whether it's on technical skills. There's probably about 20, 25 of you guys who have either gone through controls training or some sort of refresher around licensing. There's also been some leadership training that's been done. So trying to do what we can to help put people in position to succeed and further their career in whatever way they want to. We've had 7 people attend national ESOP conferences. And then we had 3 of the senior management attend another ESOP conference. So trying to get more people educated around what employee ownership is about, and understanding more about how each of us in our daily work can contribute to that, and acting like an owner and working like an owner. We implemented the employee development process. Implementing that last year gave, the point is to give you real feedback about how you're doing in your role. Things that you can do to improve, things that build upon strengths, the career path that you might want to have, what opportunities may be there. And then also as people grow or move on to other responsibilities, we backfill. That gives us a quality pool to backfill those roles. We've seen a few project managers, supervisors, positions that have been opened and filled. And then finally, the last strategic topic that I discussed was around effectively communicate. And this company had started out 48 something years ago, basically family owned, small company. But one thing that I admire is that it never, at least not wildly, never lost the family feel. There's always been a family feel, but as soon as the family gets pretty big, then little parts of the family kind of break off, or you have cliques form, or you have different things that happen. But the bottom line is, for the most part, everybody wants to be a part of the family and wants to contribute to the family. And we want to keep that alive, no matter how much business we have, no matter how many more employee owners we add. We want to continue to have that family feel as much as possible. And one of the ways that we do that is trying to engage in the communities that we work in and where we live. So that's one of the things to me is enhancing the employee ownership culture is basically means to do unto others as you would have them do to you. And so that's basically respect, and that's also basically how you form those tight family bonds, is you just treat each other the way you want to be treated. So we try to do that here in the work that we do, but also in the communities that we live. So to that end, I'm proud to announce that through our annual golf scramble, with a few tweaks, some of you may or may not know, but we've had a golf scramble for years. And one of the things that we changed this year is we changed it into a fundraiser instead of just a good time to get together. So now we have a good time to get together and raise money for local charities. So the idea is to have the golf scramble that we do, and we can do this with other things that we involve as well, but we started with the golf scramble, is we had it in Georgetown. So I asked a couple employees who live in Georgetown, what charities do they support, or what are some worthy charitable organizations that we can support? And I'm happy to announce that we raised $3,500 for 4 charities there. That was awesome. I was very blown away, quite frankly, by that amount. So what we did is there's an organization called the Amen House in Georgetown that has a mission to see that everyone in their town is clothed and has food. And so we gave to that organization out of that $3,500. The Georgetown Middle School Band Boosters, we gave to them because they have a charitable arm of their organization where they provide fees for band camp, for uniforms, for instruments for kids who otherwise wouldn't be able to participate in band, thus not getting that experience or maybe finding the love of their life as far as a career goes or hobby. Another one is the Gathering Place mission, provides women and children a safe place to get back on their feet. And then finally, there was, I might get emotional about something. I didn't think I was going to, but I might. Bill Sosby's son-in-law has a guy that is in his family, was like a dad to him. And his son is 16 years old, I think, Bill, is that right? 16? 16 years old, and had a brain tumor, or found out he had a brain tumor. So about 4 months ago, we sponsored a hole at the golf scramble and to raise funds for the family of Clayton Strong, is the kid's name. And they scheduled their golf scramble in Georgetown the same day that we had our golf scramble in Georgetown. So instead of sending a bunch of people to play over there, we sponsored a hole. Because we did so well in our scramble, we contributed another $250 to that family to offset some of their costs. So those are the 4 charitable reasons or charitable organizations that we supported through that. And that's to me, it's just an example of how we give back to the community and how we can involve the communities that we live and work in our everyday life and things that we do. And finally, there's been a few things from a communication perspective, just trying to get everybody on the same page. We launched the Buzz in January, and we've had the 100 Days of Safety through the summer campaign of Why Wednesday. Who's seen the Why Wednesday segments that we have on Facebook? Yeah, there's been about 5 or 6 that have participated in that. If you don't know what it is, go check it out. There's a new area that was put on there a few weeks ago. It's called Make Sense. And it's where we put financial information in a way to try to help you understand what's going on in the company from a finance perspective. Whether it's our revenue, whether it's the cost that we have. There's a great illustration and example there to kind of compare how the company finances work versus maybe your checkbook at home or your bank account, and just to help you take your bank account and the terms that you might use and understand what does that mean from a company perspective, so that when you hear terms from the company perspective then around finance stuff, you understand, maybe it brings it home a little bit more, quite frankly. And speaking of the Buzz, we had a little contest, a scavenger hunt. So the reason for that scavenger hunt for the Buzz was to get people more familiar with what's actually out on the Buzz, the things that you can go find out, the information you can see. So we've got probably 200 people in here, something like that. So I just want to thank the 20 people who actually did the scavenger hunt. That sucks, actually. But, so, just for participating. Yeah, you're right, so don't do it during work. So, just for participating, you will get a prize. This is the $25 here in a minute. The winners will get a $50 gift card, and those that participated will get a $25 gift card. I'm going to quickly go over the information that was on the Buzz, or the scavenger hunt. How many faulty harnesses and lanyards were removed from job sites towards the end of May? This stuff was taken just right off the Buzz. All you had to do was just look and you could see it. The answer is our safety team removed 15 faulty harnesses and lanyards from work sites. How does John Phillips always end his From the CEO blog posts? Till next time. Who represents us from Great Bank Trust Company? Kirsty Corey was the answer. She's standing right here. On what page is the PTO form? The employee info page. Where can you find the smoking policy? Under the smoking policy tab. This is hard stuff, guys. This is really hard stuff. What campaign is running Memorial Day to Labor Day? 100 Days of Summer Safety. What is our safety tagline? I'm serious about safety. Every one of you have it on your, well, not every one of you probably. Those who work safe and show up have it on your stickers on your helmet. What is an S-Corp ESOP exempt from? Taxes. Federal and state taxes, income taxes. What is the least effective barrier to eliminate safety hazards? PPE. There's a whole, that's the last thing that keeps you from getting hurt. There's a whole lot of other things you can do to make sure you work safe. What should you pay close attention to if you are hurt on the job? Head and stomach injuries. How can you skip the ER and urgent care? Somebody said die.
You go right to the morgue.
The answer is you can see a doctor over video over the phone. You can go to your primary care person, things like that. You don't have to go to the ER or urgent care every time you get injured. In emergency you should, but rarely do you have an emergency. In what ways can you engage fellow owners? There's lots of ways to engage fellow owners, talking, listening, asking questions, just to name a few. There's plenty of ways that you can find out information and engage your fellow owners. What was the OSHA incident rate for 2018? Anybody remember that? 5.5. Way to go, Mr. Sanford. Oh well. What is tied closely with your performance evaluation? The answer was safety. That was the main thing on there is performance evaluation safety. Where on the buzz can you find your points balance? My profile, exactly. Where on the buzz can you find information about benefits? Yeah, this is a hard one. On the HR page. Where on the buzz can you find who is on the ESOP Communications Committee? Another hard one. Under the ESOP tab. Where can you find about how the company is performing financially? The employee information page and the Make Sense page. Where can you find out how to save the intranet page to your phone? And it's on the FAQs. So those were the questions that were on the scavenger hunt. So I'm going to read off the names so if I can get some lovely assistants out here. Let me see. So there were 3 people who got all 20 of those, or 19 of those questions correct. So stand up so you can get your $50 gift card. 50 for these 3. Shane Horn, Olivia Cross, and Johan Pritchett. The 50. Oh, you're okay. Linda's in the back. All right. So the rest of the people who actually participated are going to get a $25 gift card just for participating. And the only reason I'm doing this because there's so few people who participated. So don't think next time we do this, everybody participates, you get a $25 gift card. Matt Cornett, stand please. Matt Cornett, Stacy Hill, William Yancey, Marty Jones, Tim Lewis, John Holder, Rick Parent, Tim Sanford, Billy Songer, Philip Coldarn, Derek Cochran, Nick Hudgens, Ricky Ratliff, Ann Chappelle, Ed Smith, Clarence Hughes, with the awesome answers, and Alex Seeger.
No, that wasn't me.
All right, while they are getting their gift cards, Tim's going to come up and do a few more recognition, and then I'll take back over.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, first thing we're going to do is recognize the years of service. So with 35 years of service, if you'd stand when I call your name, Mark Duncan for 35 years of service.
He's not here. He's on vacation.
On vacation. Okay, for 30 years of service, we're looking at Bill Sosby and Randy Witt. Please stand. Congratulations. 25 years of service, Kent Hopkins and Richard Davis. Please stand. Congratulations. 20 years of service, Keith Wingate, Marty Jones, Josh Cardwell. Congratulations. Jimmy Smith, 15 years of service. Congratulations. 5 years, we have Jesus Patino, Brad Robinson, Austin Kirk, Johan Pritchett, Spencer Harriet. All right, so that's everybody's tenure. Now we want to talk about something that JP talked about, and that's the licenses. The next people I call, please stand up because you went and got your master's licenses this year. Justin Wagoner and Nick Armstrong. Adam Grashel, I'm sorry, he's... Tim Sanford.
They were recognized he was recognized in January.
Oh, okay. Since January. Okay, our journeyman licenses, Spencer Harriet, Daniel Adams, John Clark, Ron Lewis. Congratulations. About 10 or 12 more of you need to go and get that licenses. So we're working on that to get it done. We hope to see you in that test room before long. Okay, so now we're talking to our graduates of ABC, 4th year. Our call your name, please stand up. Adam Grashel, John Clark, Spencer Harrod, Kyle Willems, Corbin Woosley, Craig Stodgill, Isaac Sosby, Travis Trimble, William Yancey. Something new we're doing this year is the honor graduate of each class with the highest grade score and the best attendance gets a $150 gift card to Gray Bar. That will be in the 4th year graduated, Adam Grashel. All right, congratulations to you guys for 4 years of hard work in school. And Adam, congratulations for an absolute fabulous score and perfect attendance. Okay, 3rd year apprentices. If you completed 3rd year, I'm just going to ask you to stand and be recognized instead of going through the list because of time. 3rd year apprentices that graduated going to 4th, please stand. Honor graduate for 3rd year going to 4th is Matt Cornett. Matt, please stand. Congratulations, Matt. 2nd year apprentices. With all the 2nd year apprentices that's going to 3rd year, please stand to be recognized. Honor graduate for the 2nd year going to 3rd year, Taylor Fryman. Now then, for the largest class any apprenticeship's ever seen, our 1st year going to 2nd year, please stand up and be recognized. Congratulations to everybody, and we have 2. We had a tie in the 1st year for honor graduate. It will be Chase Good and Dakota Johnson. Okay, going forward, our Certified Electronics Technician certification. This is done in-house. We have to thank Dan Adams. All of the persons I'm going to name off here in a minute, every one of them passed the test. He had 100% completion on his test, and everyone passed. So, Dan, thank you very much for the hard work to put that together. So the people that achieved the Certified Electronics Technician course: Jesus Patino, Blaine Bowman, Brianna Mattingly, Isaiah Jackson, Pete Chicola, Daniel DeVries, Kason Barrett, Jason Boyd, Justin Wagoner, David Adams, and Donnie Cable. So congratulations. On another note, our Fanuc robot operation completing the course is Jesus Patino and Brianna Mattingly. Congratulations. Rockwell Ethernet IP configuration and troubleshooting, Blaine Bowman. Congratulations. UL 508A Industrial Controls, Lester Juergens. PSX Access Training Certified Dealer is Tim Lewis and Casey Fryman. All right. Oasis installer, Bill DeVries. And then our Future Flux licensed installer is Bill DeVries, Don Adams, John Cooley, Casey Fryman, Pete Chicola, Justin Cottle, Tim Lewis, and Marlon Butler. That's just a few of the things that we're doing to try to educate and further our people. Better education, better service, better opportunities. They're out there, so if you're interested, let us know. We'll get you involved. So congratulations to everybody that completed it, and thank you. All right, now we're going to talk about another big old list here, okay? So as I call your name, stand up to be recognized. New hires since our January town hall. Ryan Lane, Nathan Watts, Marcus Jones, Michael Wiley, Mason Cantrell, Trace Good, Andrew Meyer, Marlon Butler, James Hutchinson, Mike Grizzle, Sam Ferguson, Justin Cottle, Andrew Lowe, Chris Roberts, Robert Harrison, Jamerson Pitts, Roy Combs, Daniel Upchurch, Rick Parrott, Chandler White, Olivia Cross, Dalton Lutz, James Gravely, Stacy Hill, Nash Hicks, Gail Walker, and David Gamble. So welcome everybody to our collective. Lastly, we're going to recognize some pretty special people for me because we work with them and they work very diligent and very hard to do what they've done. So our co-ops that worked with us for a full year that are now full-time employees. Nathan Salih, Tyler Roberts, Hunter Mason, Cody Dempsey, Andrew Meyer, Jacob Carey Fulton. Okay guys, thank you very much. Good work, thank you.
Hopefully I'm on, maybe not, kind of, sort of. You hear me? Yeah, you're good. Good. All right, so the rest of the meeting will be focused on ESOP topics. To start off this week, just like last year, we had a question of the day. And actually we had much better response this year than we did last year, so that's good. Glad to hear that, glad to see that. All these questions were ESOP related, so I'm going to go over those and the answers. Monday's question was, who is the new administrator of the ESOP and 401k plans?
I can't hear you back here.
Hello? Hello.
Okay.
Like this?
All right, that works. I don't know why it's not working now.
Tell me to keep my head there.
Want this?
Not really, but maybe. Hello? It worked earlier.
There you go.
All right, I'll keep my head down. Who is the new administrator of the ESOP 401k plans? Is Finley or retirement focus was accepted. Tuesday's question was, what is the primary purpose of the ESOP Communications Committee? Answers, those answers should include something about being a liaison between management and employee owners, communicating and educating all employee owners on ESOP topics, including company performance or being an employee ownership champion. Wednesday's question was, what are 3 things that each employee does daily that impact share price? Some combination of working safely, working efficiently, being a team player, act like owner, reduce waste, costs, etc., things like that. Thursday's question was, after what year of participation in the ESOP is someone 100% vested? What's the answer?
5 years.
6 years.
5.
It's
If
6.
you participate.
6 years. 6 years.
It's 5 ways.
Okay. So, the following people, I'm going to need some help here. with gift cards. So the following people got all 4 questions correct and will get $100 for the gift cards. Stand until you get your gift cards. Olivia Cross, Janet Hanks, Nick Hudgens, Rick Parent, Johan Pritchett, Tim Sanford, Ed Smith. Therese, give 2. You should get 2 $50 cards. Give 1 back. Yeah, there you go. All right, these employees answered 3 of the 4 questions correctly and will get a $50 card. So just 1 card this time. Blaine Bowman, Ann Chappelle, Philip Coldiron, Shane Horn, Marty Jones, Tim Lewis, Crystal Long, David Sanford.
I have Alex Grasser with Finley up here with me, and he's going to talk you through a little bit of this, how we go from our old statement to our new statement.
Can you all hear me? So on,
Can't hear you. You're not on. Go.
hey, can you hear me? Hear me now. Hear me now? All right. So on the right side of the little placard you have here is the, I guess it would actually be here. Okay. Now can you hear me? Nope. I must have something. Can y'all hear me if I just speak up?
No.
Okay, let's try that. Oh, there we go. All right, so on when you're looking at this little placard here on the right-hand side, this is going to be the statement that you would have received last year. As you can see, when you look at this, nope. I think it might be okay. I'll be on the X. All right, don't move. All right. So when you look at this little certificate here that you had last year, there's a lot of jargon, a lot of acronyms, and so what we tried to do this year is we tried to simplify things, put it in terms that matter. So for you, what really matters when you look at your statement, it's how much the value of your account is worth, right? That's what you care about, not the number of shares, not the little minuscule 10,000th of a share change. Hello? 10,000th of a share change in one little bucket. So we tried to clear all that out and just put it in dollar terms. So when you look on the other side, you'll see the new statement kind of turned differently. It doesn't look like a conventional certificate per se, but it does have your balances on it. Sorry. Hopefully y'all can hear me still. Oh, there we go. All right, so when you look at the statement now, it just basically has your big picture line items that are gonna pop up that matter. How much did you receive for this year's contribution? Most importantly though is your beginning balance, so you can make sure when you're looking at your prior statement to this statement that everything lines up. So when you look at the old statement, there's a little box down in the bottom right-hand corner that has your ending balance. On the new statement, that's gonna be in the top right-hand corner of the financial information. So Sherry went ahead and put a little box around the ending balance in the old statement and a box around the beginning balance in the new statement. So that's how you're going to be able to flow from one to the other. Another enhancement we decided to do is we wanted to show you your stock value history so you could see from year to year how things have progressed on a per share basis. So if you have 10 shares, 5 years down the road, you'll be able to see what that same 10 shares would have been worth from a dollar perspective if you were to calculate it out looking at the old value versus the new value. There's a lot of lingo down at the bottom which doesn't necessarily matter, but you should be aware of it. It relates to the overall planned value. And then the most important thing beyond your ending balance is going to be how do you ask questions. And so when you look at that left side statement in the top right hand corner, there's something called the Retirement Focus Service Center. So that has a phone contact and also a website, which you probably are already familiar with the website for the 401k side of the equation. There's going to be your ESOP information statement, general information out there by next month. By next Monday. So it will all eventually be out on the website in one spot for you to look at the ESOP, look at the 401k, and look at them kind of side by side. But that is basically a sum up of what we did from a statement perspective. Do we have any questions at this point?
Now it's my turn. If there aren't any questions on the statements, then the next thing that we're going to do, I'm going to get Kirsty and Therese up here with Great Bank Trust, and they're going to call out some names, and we ask that you stand up because we have something for you, and at the end we'll tell you what you're holding.
All right, David Adams.
Didn't hear you.
John Aldridge.
John Aldridge.
How about now?
Can you hear me now? Okay. John Aldridge, David Armstrong, John Bailey, Brandon Bradshaw, Donald Cable, Joshua Cardwell, Billy Carrier, Derek Cochran, Ryan Cosby, Ryan Cummins. You need to stay standing. You need to stay standing so they know who needs the bar. Greg Kurtzinger, Jerry Darby, Richard Davis, Jeremy Dennison, Barry Drury, Mark Duncan, Richard Fint, Megan Fox, Janet Hanks, Janet Hanks, Joshua Hullard, William Hopkins, Sherry Hewlett, David Engel, Troy Jameson, Tina Jasper, Martin Jones, John Lee, Dallas Lewis, Ronald Lewis, Timothy Lewis, Ronald Martin Jr., Johnny Metcalf, Lisa Mitchell. Stay standing, we're not done yet.
Okay, that's only half. Okay, can you guys hear me now? Okay, I'm not moving an inch. So that was the first half of the list. The second half of the list is Mike Mitchell, Elizabeth Montgomery, William Arias, John Payton, Roger Platt, Jabal Ramsey, Jeffrey Richmond, Randy Robbins, Paul Rogers, Twana Rogers, William Rogers, Barry Rubel, David Sanford, Timothy Sanford, James Schaus, Edward Smith, Jimmy Smith, William Songer, William Sosby, William Stevens, Ronald Trimble, Robert Trump, Richard Tucker, Christopher Wagers, John Wash, John Watts, Lee Weber, Warner Webster II, Robert Welch, Cheston White, Keith Wingate, Michael Wingate, Jerome Winterman, and Jason Woods. Can you guys put your hands up if you have not received your bar? Hi.
Anybody else?
We got one right here.
Bill, you got some over here? Oh, okay, he's got it.
Can I get two?
All right, everybody's standing. Everybody has what they passed out. So what they passed out, it says golden ticket on it, right? So what you represent is basically the first group in the ESOP who is now 100% vested. So congratulations. So what you can do well, you can eat the chocolate bar if you want to, but keep the golden ticket, because the golden ticket will get you a new shirt. What we're gonna do is get shirts. You can choose from a polo like this, or you can get 2 t-shirts, a short sleeve or long sleeve t-shirt, and they will have the logo on it, and then they'll say 100% vested on the somewhere. So keep that ticket. What we'll do is we'll come back and find out what sizes, what kind of shirts that you want out of the options that I just said, and then we'll make sure we get those things ordered and to you as soon as we can. So thank you. You can sit. You can be seated. Okay. Now I would like to call up here 3 people. Kyle Willems, front center. Richard Tucker,
I did not do
front and
it.
center. Ricky Ratliff, come on down.
I need 7 members of the ESOP committee to come and assist me, please.
Oh boy.
Okay. So what we're going to do is play a little game here. This game is going to, if they do it right, it's going to reveal the new share price. So your job, Kyle, Ricky, what's your name? Richard, is you've got 30 seconds to rearrange all of these guys and gals, into what you think the new share price is.
Do it individually or all together?
All together. 30 seconds. Go! Wrong.
Another 30 seconds.
Wrong. 10 seconds. Wrong. Wrong. Still wrong.
Zero. Quit Tina and Jim.
Still wrong. Still wrong. That's right. $609.70. You guys did a great job. All right, so the last thing that we're going to do here, well, I don't know if it's the last, but close to it, I'm tired, so the 3 people that I chose were the 3 closest to guessing this number in the contest that we had. So the winner is going to get $200 gift cards. All right. So which one of you 3 think you got closest? You do? What was your guess? 584. 584 was your guess. That was the 3rd from the closest. Which one of you guys think won it? Which one? All right. So Richard's guess was $601. That's really close. But Kyle's was $601.01.
See? I didn't cheat after all. I know, 1 penny. You should have went with the 10 cents.
All right, so what we have left
Told him what yours was. He won't
is
want
to
any
do
over.
some question and answers. So at the end of the day, when we're done, here's how it's going to go. So we've got question and answer period now. Then after that, we will have a time to, as you probably have already perused, there's a bunch of pies over here because as employee owners, based on the work that you do and the success we have as a company, each of you get a piece of pie, piece of meat pie. So we're going to represent that by having a piece of pie after we finish the meeting here. So, and then once you're ready to leave, once we enter into the question and answer period, you can ask questions of me, Tim, John, Sherry. We'll take questions to any of our guests, but the guests will also be here after we finish this session if you want to go individually and ask questions. And then once you're ready to leave, your real share statement will be back there in the back at a table, and Tina will help hand that out to you. What questions do you guys have? Yes, ma'am.
We missed Chris on the 100%.
You missed Chris?
I did. Somebody missed him.
Okay. If anybody else feels like they were missed on the 100% vesting, see Sherry.
There you go.
Any questions?
Why are we letting the students that got hired in here, why are we letting them miss out the first year?
Why are we letting the students who so here's, Tim, you want to take that or you want me to answer it? So there's two reasons. One of the reasons is, the question was, why are we letting some of the first year students test out of the first year? Okay, that's the question. Asked by Brian Cummings. The reason that we did that is, actually there's twofold. The first reason is we are trying to up the game as far as the people that we bring on board. So we do a lot of testing up front just to get people hired on, okay? And those tests that we give basically are the entrance tests into school, okay? So that's the first reason. This is such that they are able to have the opportunity to get some experience in the field, and then when school comes around, be able to test out potential. That's the first reason. I'll get to some other things here. The second reason is because we are trying, we had 14 co-ops at one point last year. So they are learning in vocational and technical school even more than what you learned in your first year apprentice. You actually earn your NCCER card in the programs. And so we felt like it was better to move them on up into that training instead of having them go over the same thing that they've been going over for the last 2 years in vocational school. Okay? So those are the reasons. Those are how that happens. The business reason why it happens is if we can get somebody, they still have to have their 4,000 hours and all that kind of stuff, but if we can get somebody to the point where they can qualify for their license earlier than later, hello? We can get them to qualify for their license earlier rather than later, that helps us as a business. No, quality of work is uncompromised. If you guys see that there's quality of work compromised, then you need to let us know. But it shouldn't be. All right. Talk to John and Tim about that then. What other questions you guys have? Yes, sir. So the question is, are we going to get with the vocational school in Franklin County and get co-ops from there, basically, right? We got a program there. Yeah, so we had a meeting with them, and they were interested in potentially starting one, and we haven't heard back from them. So we have had, Tim and John have had multiple meetings with them, but I guess it's a money issue or something. But we are trying to. I'd love to have a program right here in Frankfurt, but they're not interested. We had those discussions. Yeah, we had those discussions about helping, but I mean, if they don't want to do it, I can't force it. What other questions you guys got?
How long until this building paid off?
I'm sorry?
What's the mortgage on this building?
How long for?
Hold on, you gotta raise your hands. You have 3 questions here. Hold on, Alex.
Mortgage on the building, how long until it's fully paid off?
The mortgage on the building?
Yes.
Well, right now we don't have a mortgage because it's a construction loan. So depending on the balance we have at the end of building, so far we paid out of pocket all the expenses up till now.
Outstanding.
Basically. But it depends on what our actual balance is at the end. We are working with our friends from the bank here on the mortgage piece, and so it just really depends.
Can you give us a guess?
We will probably have, I don't know, but I'm guessing 20 years, but ideally we'll pay it off and be out of debt because I don't like debt. But on the other hand, if we've got, if there's an economic downturn we see coming in the next couple of years, I don't want to necessarily pay off all that cash. I'd rather have a mortgage note for a little while. So we're just going to have to see how it goes. There was other questions here. Raise your hand, please. Okay. Yes, sir.
Where are we at on the rebranding?
Where are we at on the rebranding? So we are at a point right now where we have a new logo that we're working on, and the name, as far as AE Electrical Solutions, is being finalized now. Legal entity will remain Arts Electric. I was hoping to have some of that stuff done in time to be able to, this would be the perfect time to be able to have all that done, but we're just not ready to do that based on the plan and the process that's going on. What other questions you guys have? Sorry, his question was, what's an update on the branding? Hopefully you got that from my answer, but maybe not. Yes, sir, Mr. Johnson.
Do you personally plan on staying with us until you retire, or is this just feather in your cap?
Do I personally plan on staying here until I retire, or is this a feather in my cap? Well, I'm not a bird. Certainly not a cardinal. That's for you, Tim. I have no plans. I didn't move my family from Atlanta to here to be here a short time. I'll be here as long as you guys will have me, and as the board is appreciating what I'm doing. So I have no plans to do anything else, especially with feathers.
Moving into this building.
Okay, the question is, when are we looking to moving into this building? Right now, the construction schedule is to be complete with construction on August 23rd. Now.
That's the schedule.
Exactly, that's where I say now. We have had a few little setbacks as far as some interactions with our local government, and so I'm not sure if that's going to impact the schedule yet. So far, we've not changed the schedule. So just to go beyond that question, Jim Schaus is working hard on a move plan. He's heading up a team that's helping on figuring out the details of moving into this facility. We're starting to schedule movers and things like that for the first week of September-ish. That's a tentative date. So depending on how quickly or if that schedule, aforementioned schedule, gets altered, then we will be somewhere in that time frame. So the closer we get to that time, we'll know more details. But the good thing is that we're not in a hurry to get out of the other place because we have it until January. But on the other hand, when this is done, I want to be in here as quick as we can. As quick as we can. Yeah, Nathan?
current company stock worth and the amount of growth, do you all have a projected estimate of how much we would be at by the end of the year?
The stock price? His question was based on the year that we're having and the current stock plan or price that we just revealed, do we have an idea of what the stock price is going to be at the end of the year? No clue. That's why we have to hire some people to help figure that out. But I don't know. What I can say is if we continue to make money and we continue to stay safe and we continue to take care of the equipment and the things that we have, the stock price will take care of itself. What other questions you guys have? You just want pie. Hey, sorry. Sean.
How are we looking on
Our customer? How are we looking on our contracts? Question is, how are we looking on our contracts here and out of state? I'm going to read into the question a little bit to say, you're asking about how much work we have coming up. Okay. So, as all of you know, and I think I may have sent an email out, I can't remember completely, but I would say the last 5 weeks or so, is that right, John? 5, 6 weeks, we've got rid of all our temporaries, and we kind of got back to, I would say, a normal, if you will, workload, where we're not working a ton of overtime, we don't have temps, we don't have a whole lot of lack of work, so it's kind of like even, and I expect that to be happening for the next month or so. So take vacation, spend time with your family, enjoy, relax, rest, because this fall, probably starting in August, we already have several big jobs on the books, and we expect to see, Mr. Kirksinger expects to get really busy. So we'll have some work both out of town as well as, let's say, I hope we don't get to where we were last August and September all the way through April, because that was a little much, but we'll be all right. What other questions you have? Yes, sir.
It's going to be the starting point for the 2 ships at the
Lisa's question is, what's going to be the starting point of the second shift at Buffalo Trace? I have no idea. You have to talk to Mark Duncan. We told him to stand up earlier. He probably did, but we didn't notice. Anybody else have a question? Yes, sir, Mr. Sampson.
Say something happens when it's not leaving, somebody, whatever happens. Is that money locked right then and there, and we're guaranteed that much? Or say, God forbid something happens, the company goes downhill, over here, go down with it?
That's a long question. So I'm going to paraphrase it. So you said, if you leave the company, is your account locked?
Is the money you have in the shares?
The money you have in the shares locked?
Or does it go down and say if something happens to the company, does that go away?
If something happens to the company, does that go away? I want to turn it over to our trustee, because that's her job.
Yeah, so we actually are the ones that set the value of the shares in your account. And the share value is directly tied to the share value is directly trying to find a spot, guys, hang on. Can you hear me now? Okay, how about now? Okay, can you guys hear? Oh, that's better. Yeah, so the share value in your account is actually directly tied to the company performance. So if the company went out of business tomorrow, your account would essentially be worth nothing. So that there is a risk. The shares in your account will fluctuate based on company performance. And so it's not locked in.
Okay, so part of that, if you got so long, 5 years to hold out paying or whatever, say they can look to hold it out the whole way or whatever it is, and something happens, is that pretty much all gone?
if the company goes under and the value of the stock becomes worth nothing, then that is unfortunately a reality. Hopefully that won't happen, but you should be aware that is definitely a risk with an ESOP.
Any other questions? Clarence. All right, hey guys, we'll get to pie in a minute. Cut the murmuring down, please. Yes, sir.
When you say everything about the raises and all that, okay? So, okay, the new guys are coming in, they're going to second year. So we've already been to first year, going to second year. So with this, are they going to be making the same thing we're making, and they're getting less than we are?
So Clarence's question is, I'm going to paraphrase because it's a long question again. Whenever somebody comes in and they go to first year and then they get a raise and they go to second year, are the people who skip first year getting the same pay as the second year? Is that close enough? Okay. Honestly, I don't know the answer to that. I'd have to ask Tim to come up here, but so here's the deal. With all of our positions, there's a band, there's a range, and those range overlap. So based on your performance, you may, if you're not a good performer, you may be at the bottom of whatever range you're on. If somebody else is a high performer, they're going to be at the high range of whatever that range is. And so it's possible that somebody who is a strong performer on the bottom layer, if you will, makes more than the person who's not a good performer on the next layer. So I can't really answer that question immediately. But do people who start second year, yes, they start, we have that band. If they go to second year, they jump into that second year band. Yes, sir. Do first year students get the option to test out a second year if they want it? We give a training course to everybody who wants to go. You don't have to go, but if you don't go, then you probably won't test out. But we give everybody the opportunity to test out. I guess we just started that this year though, right? This year we just started that because we want to make it as open to everybody as we can. What other questions you have?
Do we have a tuition reimbursement program in place for actual college degrees, electrical engineering, so on and so forth?
Alec asked, do we have a college reimbursement program in place? And currently, no, we don't. That is something that we are talking about to figure out. The issue is, and I'm all for doing something to help people going to college, as long as whatever it is that they're doing is going to benefit the company.
Return on investment.
Exactly. So return on investment. So that's something that we're looking at. That came up recently a couple times. So that's something that we're looking at to see if it's, just see what we can do. What other questions you have? Nobody asked what kind of pie we have. You already looked at it? I have no idea what it is. We'll have to get somebody else.
Free pie.
Free? That's the best kind. Best flavor too. Any other questions? All right. I would say go get some pie. Well, no, I won't say that. First, I'll say thank you to each one of you for everything you do on a day-to-day basis. I appreciate your work. I know sometimes you get sideways with me or with Tim or John or somebody because of the policies we're doing. Hopefully you'll learn and trust that I'm here for the long haul, trying to help each of you guys get an awesome retirement in your account, Mr. Sanford, and making sure that we are doing whatever we can to make this business strong. But thank you for everything that you guys do every day.
Till next time.
Till next time.